Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Hour. My guest today is going to be Damien Williams. Super interesting story. Let me throw on the IG live. Um, if you're just checking in, first time, Entrepreneur Hour, I created it to to educate people, to empower people to not be left behind by the innovation economy by becoming entrepreneurs. I think right now, specifically in this Corona times, we are in a position where everybody's an entrepreneur, whether they believe it or not. And I want to basically show you other people's stories and help you to become whatever you want to be, especially during these crazy times. So I'm bringing on people that I believe can help you with the information that they have. And today's a really good one. All days are good ones, but all right. So wait a minute. He says he's in. Hold on. So yeah, basically, I'm trying to get him on, but while he's getting on, I've been having conversations about entrepreneurship. I talk about it every day. Someone just reached out to me because they are about to speak to an investor and they wanted my advice. So I've been talking to my mentors and friends about how to start doing that more. But of course, can't do it all the time, um, unless you are being paid for it. So I'm definitely George. What's up, man? Thank you for checking in. Um, so I'm trying to figure out how to maybe make it a little bit of a coaching thing to prep people to speak to investors. So that's a possible new business that I just spoke about this morning, literally. So trying to get Damien on. I'm not sure he's having technical difficulties or not, but basically, yeah. So I'm in the point where, of course, I think things are starting to open up a little bit more in New York, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it is what it is. So people are reaching out for different things, starting to even possibly have some investor meetings, right? And I'm struggling with if I should do those in person or not, right? This is a crazy time. I'm definitely trying to not put my kids in unnecessary danger. So I'm at the point where I'm starting to figure out how long is this going to be for us entrepreneurs. We have to figure out how to make money during these times, and if we're stuck in the house, opportunities do get lost. I'm lucky enough to be able to do a lot of what I do from home, and I'm actually even in the process of raising a fund, and it's really close. So that's another big thing. So Damien is joining us, and I'll have a whole nother show about that. But Damien is joining us. I'll connect him right now.
Yo,
Damien, what's up, man?
I'm good, man. I'm trying to get to that back to my studio. Something happened on the highway, so you know me. I'm Dora the Explorer. I'm Diego right now.
So you still going to the Times Square spot every day?
Say that again.
You still going to Times Square every day?
One more time. Now I got you with the Bluetooth now.
All right. I said you still going to Times Square every day?
No. I was just downtown. I had just purchased a Jeep, so I had
Oh, I
parked
saw
it.
that.
I parked it downtown yesterday, and then I had to get my car and bring my car back uptown. So, you know, the transitions.
The
I'm
grind, the
I'm in
grind is
between here in Brooklyn. Yeah, in between here in Brooklyn. I'm well, we're gonna get into Times Square in a little while. We'll talk about that in the
yeah.
Entrepreneur Hour.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my,
yeah.
yeah. You know what? I was logged in for all this time, but I didn't scroll down to type my name in, so I didn't press the blue button. So I'm sitting here
Uh,
like, Why are you telling me I got technical difficulties? I thought I was waiting for you. I was early.
All right, so that's good to know. I gotta let people know the process before they come on my show.
Nah, but
So
it's only because I didn't scroll. Yeah, I didn't scroll up. Like, so yeah, they got. I know the process because I use something similar, so I know exactly what was going on. But I thought I was in once I set my camera up.
oh, all right.
Well, how you
So
doing, brother?
good man, good man. So the way I like to start the show is, Mike, what up? Mia, thank you for checking in. The way I like to start the show is I like to talk about how we met, and our story of how we met is pretty fucking epic, right? So we met.
Right.
So all right, so everybody knows the great AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when she went to run for Congress, that historic run, she asked me to be her first speaker at
2017.
her event. Can you hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. So she asked me to be
I
a speaker at her first
Yep.
event. So we did her event at the Bronx Native Shop, who's another guy I had on the show a few weeks ago. Bronx Native,
Yep.
check him out. So she decided to do her
Shout out to
first.
Bronx native.
Shout out to Bronx Native at Bronx Native Shop. So she asked me to be one of her first speakers. So I was there speaking, and Damien was just opening up a music production and broadcast production studio right around the corner. So he was there. So we're talking after, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize, there's going to be something so close because my Meta Bronx is really close to there. So I was like, we need to figure out how to get something working together. And it ends up AOC goes on your show like the next day or so, and that ends up in the Netflix special, right?
Right. I invited her to come up to the morning show. But no, that was the first show in 2017. 2017. Yeah, because we moved down there in 2018. So that was like when we met was like the winter time of it was like I guess November, October. No, it
Mm-hmm.
was October because she was about to run in November.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, she came to that time, did an interview with the morning show, and that was great. I have that footage up on YouTube. And then me and you stayed in contact after that, and she came down the second time in January when I moved to the new location. She came down to be on the Netflix special.
You're cutting out a little bit, but basically, I heard it. She came on. She went to your studio, the one you had in a different location. Then you moved, and she came on that location too, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Exactly. She went to two of the studios. Exactly. That was big.
yeah. I mean, so AOC, that's the homie. She's definitely about the community. And the grassroots effort in the beginning was started that day, pretty much the same day me and Damien met, which is pretty crazy, historic stuff. So basically, I like to start the show by talking about how we met, but then I like people to talk about their background. So your background is crazy. Why don't you tell people what you were doing before you became an entrepreneur? I know you probably were an entrepreneur from day one, but like, what was your path towards entrepreneurship? Oh wait,
Wow. All right. Well, we got to go all the way back before early night. Then I went to college.
I hear you
Huh?
now. I hear you now. It was a delay. Go
I
ahead.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I'm about to be out of this car in about 5 minutes once I get to Webster. Um, yeah. So I started off. I've always been influenced by music. My uncles are producers. I grew up in the Northeast Bronx. I grew up around music all my life. All my whole family is music people, right? So um, going into high school and going towards my senior year in high school, I had a special knack for electronics and technology. So I wanted to do audio video technology because I felt like that was something that I was passionate about because I've been playing video games since it came out, since Atari and ColecoVision and all that stuff. So I always knew how to connect things, and it was never like it was never hard for me to figure things out like that. So once I got into the music and working with equipment, that translated into that. And my passion for music plus learning, in high school that you can make a career out of this, I decided to go away to college in 95, 94, 95. I went down south, and I was supposed to study audio video technology there too, but I got into a little bit of trouble being a New Yorker and not wanting to fit into the sororities and the fraternities and the local business down in South Carolina. That I only did like 8 months down there, and I came back up. So when I came back up, while I was down there, and some of my dorm mates will tell you, I had a computer setup. And you're a computer guy, so you were familiar with this. I had an Amiga 128, I think it was.
Nice.
128 Amiga. And
Yep.
that computer had the little floppy disk, and I would make beats in this little computer program on that and do samples and all that. So I was already influenced. And that started before I went away, because the great Swiss Beats actually lived across the street from me and used to borrow records, and we used to collaborate on things back when he was a younger lad before he became Super Swiss Beats. And so fast forward, came back up, still was doing music, but now I needed to work, so I started working at Crate and Barrel, which on 59th Street, which is a home decor store. I don't know if everybody's familiar with that.
Yep.
I did 6 years there, and while I was there, I was making mixtapes, and I was still into the music. And I had gotten into a car accident in '96, I believe. And with that money that I got from that car accident in '99, by the time they gave me my little $10,000, I invested in my first computer of my own. And with that computer, I bought like a MIDI trigger and started producing beats.
See,
and that was
like
the beginning in '99 of me being a producer.
so this is why, like if you haven't seen my TED Talk, shameless plug, check it out. I say pretty much what happened to you is what created hip hop, right? At the end of the day, when you got that equipment, you were able to change your career, your trajectory, right? And I think technology right now is going to do very similar for people that are getting into it now, because these phones are so popular, right? Can you hear me? Hear me? Hear me? All right. These phones are so popular, and there's so much opportunity in these phones with these apps and these games for anybody to make. You can make a game right now for free if you have a computer, right? So the computer is such a big asset that everybody needs, and it's interesting that you, and I know a lot of people like you, that they were on the computer game early, and that helped project their music careers. Can you hear me? You hear me? No, I can't hear you.
I still can't hear nothing.
Maybe refresh. Maybe refresh. Start it over. So I'll wait till you get back. All right. Hold on. Refresh. You hear me? No. I hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, I guess you can't hear me. So I'll wait. So basically, Damien's story is pretty interesting. I have another friend who will be on my show very, very soon, hopefully, that had a very similar story. Like, he was into all of this and he got a computer super early. He had to like hack his computer up to be able to use it for music, and he became one of the top people that provided DJs with the up and coming music that was the good stuff that they needed. So to me, it keeps coming back to this. There's an opportunity right now of getting involved in the next wave of whatever is coming if you get involved in technology and if you have a good idea, right? So why I call this the entrepreneur hours, I really want people to start thinking, how can I empower myself to not hope somebody gives me a job in the next few months, right? There's 20 million people on unemployment. All right, so how's the music industry dealing with the lack of concert revenue? Good question. I'm gonna ask Damien when he gets there. Edwin, thank you for the question. From what I've seen already, one of the big things, you're in the VR space, Edwin. You saw what Fortnite did. Fortnite had a concert with Travis Scott. So if you don't know what Fortnite is the top video game in the world, I believe. My kids play it all the time. It's one of the most popular games in the world. They basically made a concert in the middle of Fortnite where I think it was 6 million people watched it. Travis Scott made, I think, $2 million or something like that. And that's kind of the future of this. Imagine being in VR and be able to, if you're not playing the game, you can watch the concert in VR. I think that is kind of where it's going. I'm not sure how often they can do something that big because, Travis Scott, him and his team got in early on this opportunity, and I'm not sure. I heard maybe Fortnite is about to do another one. 12 million. Wow. So Edwin says 12 million people watch that. So think about that, right? What kind of concert can you go to where you're gonna have 12 people in one venue? Nowhere. That's impossible. But through digital and scale, you're talking about, let's say you charge people $1 to see this concert. You make $12 million from one concert versus charging people 50, 100, 500, 1,000, and there's a limited space, right? So technology allows for scale in a way that we've never seen, and we're coming up on like the early part of it, really. Like, if you think about it, the last recession we had, the phone was not even huge like that. Like, it was very early if it existed at all. I feel like it just came out when we had our last down economy, right? Now we're in our Great Depression. Everybody has a phone in America. In other parts of the world, they're called the bottom billions. There's people that never had technology that now they're going to get phones in like the next 5 years. The opportunity for technology has never been better. And I don't think there's going to be a better opportunity than right now. I think once it all settles, there's going to be situations where they kind of cut off anybody from overlapping them. So think about technologies like, I hate to say it, but Facebook. You're probably watching on Facebook. Edwin's on Facebook. George was on Facebook. Facebook is so powerful that when someone gets close, they just buy it. They spend $19 billion on WhatsApp. They got a really good deal on Instagram. I think they bought them for like $2 billion. And that's a crazy deal. Sounds crazy, but it's a crazy deal. What happens is once these companies get so big, they'll just scoop up any possible competition. Of course, you don't have to sell to them. But in a way, when you take venture capital, how could you not give your investors back that return? So if I told you, invest in my idea right now, give me 100,000, and when I sell this for $19 billion, you're going to make $20 million off 100,000. You're going to say, sure, here's my 100,000. But then when that opportunity comes in, it's like, Facebook wants to buy me for 20 billion, but I don't want to do it. You're going to be like, yes, you have to do it because that's how I get my 20 million. So you kind of put yourself in this situation when you take venture capital. Yup, it has changed everything, man. So Mike on Instagram said technology changed everything. And Mike, you're going to be on my show, man. You got to come on my show. So Mike is a guy I went to high school with. He's doing cool things right now, too. So I believe this is probably the best time in the history of the world to create anything, invest in technology ideas. Of course, there's Bitcoin and stuff like that, which I'm hearing right now, if you're in the traditional investment areas of real estate, stock, stuff like that, those things are going to take a hit. Yeah. You got. I sent you the link, Mike. You got to jump on. Eventually, let me know. So right now, what they're telling, what I'm seeing the rich people say, the super rich, is invest in Bitcoin and stuff like that because the stock market is going to take a dive for a long time. I don't know what I believe about that. I did buy some Bitcoin. I had Bitcoin already, but I bought just in case. Real estate, I believe in real estate, but I believe in real estate more on the vacation market. But look, Airbnb is kind of shut down right now. Vacation travel shut down right now. But I do believe when it comes back, that is a way of generating revenue, and I'm in that game. I'm not sick. I've been COVID free the whole time. I did go outside yesterday though. So I really do believe that if there's an idea that's been sticking in your mind and it continues to weigh on you, I think you should be working on it right now, because I'm telling you, the investors know, they know the opportunities are there. Uh, they know the opportunities are there for investment, for good deals, right? So if your company was worth something before COVID, it's worth less right now, because most likely what you're doing doesn't connect as much. But then there's certain ideas like Boop, which I had on Monday, who I am through Bronx putting them in front of investors because their idea is perfect for right now. It's tailor made for right now. If you create an idea that's tailor made for right now, investors want to hear from you. So I'm trying to like bring anybody who does have an idea tailor made to put them in front of investors, right? Because I know people who want to invest, and I win on both sides, right? So basically, the core of what I'm telling people to do is start by clarifying what the idea is you possibly have. So if there is something that you are saying, damn, I really wish I can do this, what is the hurdle? What is the reason you can't do it? Clarify that in your head. Okay, I can't do it because I don't have enough money. That's not enough of a reason. Why don't you have enough money? What do you need the money for? Okay, I need the money because I need to create an app. Do you need to create an app though? Do you need to create an app to test this idea? I just yesterday, if you listen to my yesterday's episode, I'm writing the book, and I was breaking down how to create your first version without an app. You don't always need the things you think you need. So the more you clarify what you need, and then you talk to people like me and other people, you may understand that you don't need that money. You don't need the 100,000, 50,000 you think you need. You just need to really clarify it and break it down and say, all right, maybe I don't need this right now. Maybe to test the idea, I just need this. And hopefully Damien could jump back on, but I'll keep filling the time. It's what I do. I'll keep talking about maybe what I believe the music industry needs to think about right now. I think right now the content game is where it's at for music people. For people in music that have already large followings, I would be creating a daily show like I'm doing here. Imagine if I was Travis Scott and I was getting on live every day talking to people. How many people would be watching that, right? Like everybody that cares about this guy, which 12 million people watch that. If you had 12 million views a day, you're going to tell me advertisers wouldn't be giving him a shit ton of money? Like, you're going to tell me he can be moving whatever product, merch he could out of that? That's what I would do. If I was in music, and I am behind the scenes, I am working with a few artists, with a friend of mine that he owns a label, a management company. So like IMJI, this guy is growing. You hear him on the music, on the radio. I'm behind working with him on a lot of stuff with that guy. And I'm trying to convince them to do a show. We'll see how it's going to go. I don't know if I'm going to be on the show, but I'm trying to convince it. Because I believe the true opportunity is in the data that these artists can collect. If you think about it, these artists get... So think about it. If Travis Scott got 12 million emails, and understand the demographics of this audience, you know how much value that is to an advertiser? Like 12 million people. So the value, so here's what I learned a few months ago. The value of a cell phone number is more than a social security number. If you think about that, like you're more worried about protecting your social security number than your cell phone by far. But the advertising and the people that are willing to pay for data, they're more interested in buying your cell phone number than your social security number, because your cell phone number can be tracked more to understand what you do, what you want to buy, and what you sign up for. Why do you think whenever you sign up for something now, they push the dual authentication of your cell phone? It's because they want your cell phone number, because that's more valuable, and it's an easier way to communicate, right? It's a more frictionless way of communicating. So Mike says the versus battles right now are gold, but there was a little hiccup this week. Where was it this week? Where Instagram started shutting them down because they were not in compliance with the music rights, the rights management. So they shut that down. I don't know if it came back actually, but again, what if you did it on your own show? You don't got to do it on Instagram. Pull people off these social media platforms. I'm saying it on a social media platform. I know you're watching me on a social media platform, but eventually, as a business person, I don't have anybody's number. I mean, my friends I do, but if I had 12 million people watching this right now, which one day I will be, and I don't have those 12 million people's email, phone number, do I really have them as a connection that I can profit from? Not really. Who's profiting from them? These platforms, right? They are advertising to these 12 million people. But you can do it too. And that's where this content game, even me creating this show, it's been hard. I've been, there's definitely things that tell me I shouldn't do it, things that tell me I should do it. There's comments I get from people like, oh, you think you're this, you think you're that. There's things there's a bunch of things that will shut you down and say, you know what, I'm going to stop doing this. But I got to motivate myself because I know what the true opportunity here is. The truest opportunity in the next 10 years is branding and technology. So why am I creating the Entrepreneur Hour? One, I want you to remember my face and remember the connections that I can bring to you, right? So if you're like, damn, I really wish I can get to Michael Blake. Oh shit, I see Miguel knows Michael Blake. He was on the show. They spoke for an hour about all the stuff they do. Let me reach out to Miguel. Maybe he can help me get to Michael Blake. Michael Blake's not a hard person to get to. But just that kind of idea, right? Oh, I have an idea, but I don't know enough about how to get it done. Maybe Miguel can help me, right? That could be a way where I can get you either investors, I can own a part of the business, or both, right? So I'm creating content because I understand I need to be able to have people come to me instead of me having to call and email people to try to bring in revenue. I'd rather have things that are being pushed out everywhere and people are seeing my face and be like, oh yeah, Miguel does that. And that happened last week. I got a project last week possibly because of the show. I didn't ask, but I'm sure it couldn't hurt that I was doing this stuff to get that project, right? So, and investors, right? I have investors asking me for opportunity. I have startups asking me to connect them to investors. That can't be a bad thing. So, Damien's back. He's in his studio now.
I see. I got some.
Damien, can you hear me?
I hear you. You hear me?
You're getting some cool lines, but I hear you. You're getting like the future. You got the Tron lines or something.
Yeah, I don't know what that is on my camera, but I'm about to fix it. Give me a second.
All right. So while you're fixing it, we had an audience member ask, how do you see the music industry dealing with the lack of concert revenue? What do you think about that?
They're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to pay-per-view it or something at this point now. Right now, I don't know how they did. I think they got billions of dollars, so they're dealing with it. They just did something with what's this dude's name?
Oh, Travis Scott. I mentioned that.
Travis Scott,
yeah,
the Fortnite and all that, and that was
12 million people saw that. So think about that. No venue in the world can hold 12 million people. So,
and I think it costs like $30 a piece for to get that.
Did it? No, I didn't pay. My kids watched it. I didn't pay for that. Unless
no, my son was mentioning it. I don't know if he paid. What the hell is all this stuff over here?
Unless my sons charged me without me knowing about it, which is very possible. Hold
on, let me get my. I'm still trying to get my artifacts right. My vocals is good, but I don't know what's going on with it.
Saying those are surveillance lines. They're watching us.
Yeah. Hold on, let's see. Green screen now. Let's see. It's something with the conversion on this thing. I could use the regular cam. Let me just go out and use the regular cam.
All right, cool.
It's not gonna take me out. It's just gonna switch this right here because this thing is it's being obnoxious right now.
There you go.
You see,
All right, there you go.
you can see the unhigh def of this, but it's fine. For the sake of not making people wait, we're gonna do what we gotta do.
Sure. So, like where we left off was you talking about your story, and then you didn't get into when you created your first broadcast studio, though. I wanna get into that.
Okay, so yeah, I was getting to that. So in '99, I moved from '99. I came back up. I was living on Boston Road, which is where I originated from. Well, that's where I grew up in my teenage years, and then I moved to Holland Avenue off of Allenton Avenue in '99, and that's where I created my first computer, and I created me a little corner, little hole in the wall corner for my workstation, and started making beats and learning how to engineer, self-taught. And from that, I think we stayed there from '97 until '99, and then '99 I moved to 680 East 235th Street, which is near the Burger King on White Plains Road, and that's where I created Damatrix Studios. Inside there, my guy Buddha built me a booth, isolation booth in the hallway, which we had. Me and my sister shared that apartment. We had this huge Bronx apartment, had 3 rooms, had a big hallway.
You put it in your apartment at first?
Yeah, in my apartment.
That's hustle right there. Think about that, man. Like
so we talking 1999 to 2004 is where I got that first 5 years. I got my first start at home there. And
nice.
Yeah. And that apartment, I was able to interview Grand Pooba, Killer Mike. I remember back then. Pitch Black, Remy Ma. Remy Ma came in person, which was dope.
That's dope.
Killer Priest. And the first politician that I ever got was Jeff Klein. Jeff Klein came down, and that's when he was running. Yeah, that's when Jeff Klein was running. He won after that. That's my second politician. That's my first politician. AOC was my second. That after they came through my network and did an interview in the hood in the Bronx, they got on. So I'm taking a pat on the back for that because I was following.
You gotta take your. It's pretty cool though. Jeff Klein, I think he's not in anymore, right?
He's still in. Yeah.
Okay.
He was based in Pelham Parkway, so he was familiar with that part of the Bronx, and that's before Instagram and YouTube and all that. So that interview, I don't even remember how. I think it was just audio because I was a pirate radio station back then. 2002. From 2002 until about 2005, I was just doing pre-recorded stuff. So I was recording interviews and then bringing it to Queens to be on the FM radio, and so that's where I got started.
So you basically made a deal with a Queens station to broadcast your content.
Yeah. So I was doing a show. I started off as doing a show. I got my radio start by doing a show with a guy named Jesse Jess. He does Urban Threshold, and he sent me an email online asking if I can. He heard some of my music production because I'm a music producer first. So he heard some of my music production, and he was asking, do I think I can produce a radio show? So he already had a plug for the radio situation, so he just utilized me to set it up for him. So I would do radio shows, 2-hour radio shows from scratch. So I would put the music and all that laid across the screen and edit it as I go along. So you're talking about a 2-hour program with the music, sound effects, the claps, the applause. I would set all that up linear, like on a whole long 2-hour play, and then I would have to go and let it play out, let everybody talk over their parts, put the artist music in, and then edit it, and then bring it, and then render it down. Damn. So I learned how to do radio from scratch. I don't think no other.
So that's kind of like podcasting in a way, though.
That's
right?
what it was. That's why when podcasting became a thing, I'm like, I've been doing this since I started. Like we went right back to where it all began for me.
Yeah. So that's funny. We had an interesting conversation, but we'll get to that. So, all right, you started in your house, that's awesome. That's dope.
Right.
I guess as entrepreneurs, that's the first place.
That was the best. I used to wake up in the morning, make breakfast, make some beats, do my work, do my daily work. Artists would come and record. I would be cooking dinner and doing a session at the same time. So dudes remember that frying that good old boneless chicken and broccoli and yellow rice, the Goya rice. That was my special move right there.
So what made you make the jump to getting an actual space to produce out of and do the shows?
But that's interesting too. I was always moving around and networking with people. So I had met this young lady and I forgot her name, but I met her at this they had a bank on the corner of 233rd. I forgot, it was a green bank. I forgot what brand that was back then. But she said she does like a community meeting and she invited me to come, and I was like, oh sure, I'll come. And so I came to the community meeting, and it turned out she was a realtor, and she had spaces that was available that she was selling, and the ones that she had, I never thought about being, I never thought that far ahead, like I'm gonna have my own place, commercially. And she was like, yeah, well, we got these spaces, and the space she had was like 500 square feet. And I think it was going for like $575. I'm like, I can make $575. Like I make that now, easy. So, and mind you, I didn't talk about the part I was at Crate and Barrel from 95 to 2001, right before the World Trade Center hit.
Yep.
I left. I quit. I just was like, you know what? My passion is not here. I'm making money at home already, because I was already doing that and making money at home. And that was a great experience, because I learned about a lot of houseware and cookware and knives and things like that, the exquisite stuff, the wine glasses, goblets, pilsners. I learned all that. I took a trip down. They sent me on. I won a trip to Germany. So I was like 19 years old, and I won a trip to Germany. My first flight ever to Germany.
Wow!
And
awesome.
For selling pots out there. So that was a dope experience to go visit castles and all that. So that opened up my mind already. Like, wow, like you can, if you work hard, you can travel and do things. So
traveling changes your whole perspective.
Right.
If anybody is out there, I know we're in a tough time, but when it opens back up, travel,
man, because those experiences help build who you are. Like, people always used to ask me, why you like driving so much instead of just getting on a flight? And I'm like, because I like to see the things in the middle. When you get on a flight, you there. The flight is for when you got to get there at a certain time, and you on time constraints. If you don't have to be somewhere at a certain time, all my trips normally as an entrepreneur, I'll go from here to Miami, but I'll go in a week. So I'll stop every state and stay a day with family members, and they always welcome me. Oh, come spend the night here. They cook, hang out for a day, go to whatever amusement park or movie theater, and then get in the car the next morning and drive down. So that's my traveling advice for people that
don't be in trouble for that for a little while.
Yeah. I did enough traveling to set I'm almost ready. Like, just getting in the Jeep and driving from Jersey the other day was like, yeah, I need to get on the road again. I need to smell those trees blossoming.
It'll be a rough summer.
Yeah, so back to that's part of the entrepreneur hour, because that's part of what you get when you're able to make your own schedule and move around. You have
freedom. This is a good point. Entrepreneurship to me is mostly about freedom. It's not about everybody who becomes an entrepreneur is not going to be rich. You're not going to get
that's not
jet. You are going to have a little bit more freedom, but the best thing about entrepreneurship, I think, for me specifically, is you get to choose what you work on. So you end up liking what you do, hopefully. I mean, that's not for everybody. If you're just in it for the money, you're definitely going to choose things that make more money that you may not like. So, all of us are in that position. I tend to make sure I like what I'm doing. I'd rather make less money and like what I'm doing than hate what I'm doing and make a lot.
Love what you're doing. So, because they got that cliche saying, if you love what you're doing, you never work a day.
1,000%.
If you never work, you never work a day in your life. And it's true. Like, I wake up every day, and I don't know how it's all going to play out, but I know how it's going to play out at the same time, if that makes any sense. So worrying about bills and how this is going to get paid, when you make your own money and you make your own way, you don't worry about those things, because you know how to get there. You just know, you see a dollar amount, this is what I got to do to get to that amount. And then you're good after that. Like, you could do a certain amount of hours of the day, 2 or 3 hours. If that paid off whatever bill was due, you can go hang out for the rest of the day, because it's no pressure on you. When you're 9 to 5 in it, you know, you have a certain amount of things you have to do within that 40 hours a week, and that's not a knock against that. Some people like that structure, and you know, it's something for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of me with entrepreneurship is a lot of people think it's not for me because they think it's something different than what it really is. All it is controlling your own destiny when it comes to bills, right? And of course, it's easier to just rely on going somewhere and collecting a check. Yes. But then in situations like this, you realize how really it is not as safe as you think, right? Like if your boss does some dumb thing, you're fired. You know what I'm saying? If you do some dumb thing as an entrepreneur, you're fired, but that was at least on you. You know, it's not like you're relying on someone else, you know. And as a person that has hired people and people work with me, I understand both sides, but I always try to even encourage people that work for me to think about entrepreneurship on the side hustle or anything, because you shouldn't only be relying on me. Nobody should be relying on one source of income. That's crazy to me. That's
especially
crazy.
if you have several skills. Like when I see like especially women that could maybe babysit kids, maybe do hair, maybe do, you know, they got all of these different type of skills that bring in money. These are essential gifts, but they don't take it serious enough. I'm like, nah, you're doing it wrong. Like, you don't have to go that 9 to 5 all day. You could do some of that to make sure your rent is paid. Do enough of that work part-time with that, you know, or get your insurance or whatever, you know, so that you got health and all that. But then do the things that you enjoy doing, that you can control the time.
Yeah, side hustles are real, man. Like a lot of people start out this stuff with side hustle. I didn't even realize it till the other day that I started mass creation as a side hustle. I was a freelancer working for agencies, making good money per hour, and then at night I would get other projects, and I would get people to help me do those projects, and I would do them. I would not sleep, and then I started a company based around that. But it was kind of a side hustle, right? I was doing something on the side of my real thing that made me money, right? So I think, you know, a lot of people have to, especially now when we get back, we're gonna return to normalcy. Remember this time and say, yo, I don't want to be in this situation next time and be reliant on one stream of income. That to me is crazy. So, all right, it's 15 minutes left. I know we have some drop off, but I want to make sure we talk about what you're doing right now, because I know right before all this, we were meeting about doing 2 huge shows out of your podcast studio in Times Square. I want to know where you are with that. What's your plans, and how COVID and post-COVID you think your new idea will move?
Okay, so prior to COVID, I had just had a mindset that, all right, I did 20 years in the game, being a physical entity, being a platform for artists to get, you know, to get their interviews and get their music played and network together. And I did a pretty good job of making those relationships where I'm solid with that. So I was like, I came up with the idea that I wanted to be more on the go. I wanted to be a pop-up podcast. I wanted to pull up to different places and do the podcast from people's homes. This is all before COVID. I have talked about it. I've made posts about it. You can go and check my records. And I was like, yeah, you know, I don't want to be locked into just a studio anymore, just paying a rent, when I can, you know, I got the equipment and the technology and cars and wheels to be able to move around now. So I said that I think be dope, just like Uber, to just somebody wants to do a podcast today. You think about it, you go on the app, or go on the website, you say, you get on the calendar, book it, boom, boom, boom. I send the engineer out. You pay for it. The engineer comes, does the joint. It could be in your own house. If you got a nice backyard, it could be in your backyard. If you got a lounge or something, you want us to come
it was
to.
audio only. You're doing audio
Video, anything, whatever, audio or video, whatever, the whole setup.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that one. You didn't tell me about that one. That's good.
So that was the idea. So fast forward now to COVID. Oh, so now we moved, me and my partners, Broadway, Hector, and Tish and Bryce. We moved the studio down to from the Bronx down to Broadway, 43rd Street. So that was a good look. That was just a space that we were going to use just as the flagship, and to bring some big, you know, to attract bigger celebrities. Being on Times Square, it'd be dope. Much smaller space than I ever had, but still functional, you know. And we set it up. You was there. We set it up pretty dope. even when doing that, I didn't get the same traction that I got in the Bronx. Well, not at the new location that you saw prior, where AOC first came. That's where I think I had a good amount of them. I got up to like 40 shows at that one location one time, and that was a goal. Like I was at 30, I'm like, I'm gonna push it to 40 a week, and I finally had cracked that. And then that place was dope. It had a mural on the rooftop. It had the rooftop. That was the main thing. I had a studio, an office, and a space there for the podcasting, and that was dope. And I think as I moved further downtown, I think some of my core clients, they dropped off, or they wasn't. You would think it's in the Bronx, they'll still travel, but some people are really like they're local and regional, based off of what they know. Like they're not going all the way to the South Bronx.
Yeah.
So I as an entrepreneur, I started to feel the drop off, but I still fought through it. So the struggle from the 2 years I had on 235th Street, trying to pay that rent, and damn near it was like double somebody's mortgage, and the experience of it was like I was trying to expand more than what the people wanted or needed, so to say. So moving down to Broadway, I felt like, all right, this is dope. This would be perfect because it's small enough. It's in a dope location. Boom. And then right before we got 5 months in, COVID hit, and we had to shut that down. And so now it's shut down, not in the sense that it can't ever be done again, but right now it wasn't open for the last 3 months, and it's still not open to the public for people moving around. So I was not about to just be giving away money every month.
Makes no sense.
So I took that setup. As you can see, I have that same setup. I have everything right here. Like,
nice.
This is back to where I started at. So where it all began. That's my slogan, and I'm sticking with it. So now I decided to start doing what we're doing, social distancing podcasting. So same thing what you're doing right now. We have this technology where we can send a link out and make it happen. So I got a chance to interview Mr. Cheeks, Yo-Yo, my guy Head Crack from the Ricky Smiley show. So it's like easier to do now to get these interviews done. And I'm thinking forward now, I can connect Toronto with London and start just doing interviews with my background. I already have 20 years of doing interviews. So now this is the new wave. So I need to be in front of this new wave of doing social distancing.
I actually think there's of course silver linings, right? People are dying, of course, but like this is much more scalable. I think your location was ridiculous though. That was an awesome space. We thought we were going to be able to bring in top people there too, right? But now I believe it's much easier to get a top person like this.
Yeah. It's
not going to be as good. It's not as cool to be in person with them, but I think it's easier.
But yeah, for the content, because radio and podcast, this is just content. We don't have to smell each other and see. Like even when a guest comes in, we're not all. I mean, sometimes you get cool, you give a pound and everything. For the sake of the content and the information, this is excellent because you don't have to do anything else.
So now post COVID, do you think you're gonna stick with this remote thing, or you think you'll go back to
100%? Because I believe that some people are still not gonna move around for the next 2 years the same way that they did prior. And I've been paying for the technology already. I've been using it, so I'm just gonna capitalize on it and just keep it moving, but do it bigger, and take it across the states and across countries on a more, like you said, scalable way instead of just being local with it. And now it's not local. Now DSN, Damatrix Studios Network will be exactly what I named it as before it was a network.
So to me, it actually, for a business like yours and your history, I think is a blessing in disguise, because now that overhead of Times Square, whatever it was, you could possibly spend that on advertising like that, marketing, right? And draw more eyes to your show and put up on the podcast, advertise on the podcast. And I think it's a blessing in disguise. I think a lot of people that entrepreneurship was about space a lot, like location, right? Where you are, your storefront, all these different things, office environment for tech, right? Now I think we're starting to be able to like break that chain and understand the possibilities more. I feel like I lived in that because I was super in tech, but now everybody's seeing it. I think it's much more of an understanding. Like, wait a minute, there is a different way of doing this that is possibly a lot better for business, and I think we're there. So for you, what would you say? So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to do for entrepreneurs the business genie. If there was a business genie to drop into your office, your house right now, what are the 3 things you wish you can get right now, understanding this new situation?
Right now, I would certainly want I would want Gary V's marketing mind. I would probably want what's this guy's name? The X10X. I would want his mouth because he talks crazy.
Grant Cardone.
Grant, yeah. And man, because with those 2 things already, and definitely I would want a solid program that I can work with the youth, because I'm already working with the youth, but because that's the only way we're going to fix and enlighten the future and change a lot that we see that's going on right now, is to get hold of the youth and explain to them how we came up and how they can do better than what we've done.
So I got something possible that we could work on. Okay. So they canceled Summer Youth this summer, right? Yep. I don't know if you know that, because you had a Summer Youth program in your office, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've done it a few years.
So what we're doing with Meta Bronx is we've been trying to partner with organizations, brands to fund a program over the summer that's remote. One of the ideas is we're going to create an online show like this where the kids are doing everything, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to teach them technology, marketing, all that stuff.
They're going to I'm in already.
So maybe we could work on that together. Yeah, let's figure it out.
Yeah, I'm definitely in on that, because that's where, once everything goes back, there's gonna have to be things that these kids can do without putting them in risk or sticking them all inside of a room together when it's not necessary. Obviously we still need that interaction, that play, that roughing around, jumping sports and all that. But the technology things like this doesn't take, you don't need 10 laptops in one room for kids to talk to each other.
Yeah, like this works on a cell phone. You were doing it in your car as you're driving, mm-hmm. right? Like there's no limitation. When you think about technology, you got to strip out all the limitations, right? And it's possible. You just got to figure out how to do it. I'll be honest though, this show, what we're doing right now, this mm-hmm. technology didn't exist 2 years ago, 1 year ago. For us to do this, it would have cost us like hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So like now, me and you, we have our own studio stuff set up, which there's some investment there. This service, mm-hmm. I link to the service in the bio. It's monthly. You pay monthly. You can create as many shows as you want. Everything becomes cheaper, easier, better over time with technology. So you just got to be able to push through and do what you need to do. So for you, you said marketing mind. A talker. What you need is basically salesperson. Like, what are you saying to sell you?
Yeah,
ads?
He's a sales guy. He's a sales,
because you want to sell more advertising for your network. That's why.
Yes.
And what else? What's the other thing? Because maybe somebody
and the end result is the outlet for a youth program to sponsor a youth program or to create a youth program, as we were saying, where it's got my name attached to it, and I'm able to pass everything that I would get, from those guys on.
I'm in the same boat. I created Meta Bronx for the same idea. I want kids to get the experience I wish I had earlier. So we're getting kids internships at tech startups. We're helping tech startups. That idea you had with the pop-up podcast idea, mm-hmm. that could be a tech startup. I don't know right now with social distancing, but that could be
But the thing, that'd be perfect, because after social distancing is done, you'll get less people wanting to go out to bars and lounges and all that and want to operate from their home. We can go the same way, the same guidelines that is with social distance. I'll go into their house. I'll set it up. It'll just be one person. I can have on gloves and a mask. I don't give a damn. I set it up, because the equipment, it doesn't have to be manned. It just has to be set up and press record and I can get out the way. Engineer can get out the way. Because, trying to get everybody to learn how to do podcasts and all that. Like, yeah,
I agree. I struggle with it.
But some people don't want to do all that. Some people don't want to cut their own grass. They want to they want it done.
So that's actually something we should discuss, because I think that's not a bad idea. Actually, mm-hmm. that's really good. I mean, I know we all got 1,000 things going on, but I think That could work. So, all right, last 5 minutes. Any questions for me? Any questions for the audience where you are looking? We spoke about you're looking for marketing help. You're looking for sales help to sell advertising on your network. What else? Anything else you could possibly?
And now starting in June, I'm opening back up where anybody that's looking to do a produced podcast with a producer, whether it be video or audio, we're definitely, we got some good affordable rates now. Like I sliced my prices in half, and anybody that wants to just get the knowledge and understand also too, we have like workshops and
So
phone
you're
calls
saying
to do for that.
you're doing the pop-up thing, or are you gonna still have?
No, this is like just like what we're doing here. Like I want to build back up my roster on my network where I can produce people's shows, people that want to do
got it. So
what we're doing right now.
You're gonna produce shows remotely.
Remote, right?
Got it. All right, awesome.
So, and then for you, because I remember I've been a part of understanding what you wanted to do, and now you're actually doing it, and I see that it seems like it's going great. So what are some of the things that you like, don't like, or are enjoying about this process of producing your own? This is a daily show, yeah, right?
I do weekdays every day. Yeah. I like what I like about it is this. I'm kind of in a way still being social. Like we got to meet today. I got to learn about you. I didn't know some of the stuff that you told me today. I'm learning about what you're doing right now. I'm learning about a good idea you had that maybe is possible for us to make happen. So in a way, I love that about it. It's definitely bringing opportunity. I'm in the same boat as you where I know the tech so I can promote my shit easier, but it's still a lot of work for just me. Right. So, and I'm part of me is that's part of what I'm going to do with the Meta Bronx kids. I'm going to, because Gary V, you mentioned Gary V, his marketing mind. He has 30 people that work on his stuff. So of course it's everywhere. You know what I mean? Like 30 people is 30 people. I'm one person. So my hope is to create an army of people like that, these kids in these communities that now they get experience doing this stuff, and then they could take that experience and either do it themselves or get jobs, So that's definitely something that I could see us, and especially for the show. One of the biggest things is right now we just did an hour-long show, but there's probably gem clips in here that we could chop out, put on your social media, I put on social media, but that's the work. That we need an editor, we need, somebody to watch the hour worth of content every day and pick out the gems, chop it out, edit it. That's work. And I was doing it myself, but I'm also running a lot of other shit. So it's impossible to do that plus this. So that's one thing I think is a need for me, and definitely advertising. I want to start figuring out how to do advertising for stuff like this at the most cost-effective way.
Right, effective advertising. There's plenty of ways that they'll get you to do, but you want to make sure that it hits.
$100 million into Facebook, and it'll be gone in a second if you want. But if have you doing it right? So to me, I would like to figure out how to spend a few bucks a day advertising, promoting. But I'm literally on with mine. I'm not sure how you doing yours. Mine is on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch at the same time, and I'm on Instagram Live. So if I advertise on all those platforms, I'm spending ridiculous amount of money every day, and it don't bring me money back really like that. So I don't know how I would do that.
Are you adding the audio to Anchor though?
That I need to do. That is my
that pays for the ads too. Once I'm on the Anchor since you put me on it. I'm on it.
Yeah, I put you on the Anchor, but the problem with Anchor, I feel like right now podcasts are less listened to because not as many people are on the go. People are home, so they're more likely to watch. I feel like, but I'm gonna throw up everything on Anchor. I am.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking to Bryce. We're about to upload everything that I've done on our YouTube. We got some up there, but I'm just gonna upload everything on there and see, throw it to the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah. I've been taking this YouTube class. YouTube to me, it goes back to where you started. You started on the radio, like community radio, but then think about public access. Remember public access TV?
Yeah, still out.
That's what YouTube is now. YouTube is like public access TV, but globally. And it's gonna be there forever.
I go there and watch ESPN there. I just go and watch the shows after they put them up. I just watch them there.
And it's not going away. So if you're creating content, you might as well have it on YouTube. Might as well have it on Anchor as a podcast.
Mhm.
That's a given, right? And then however you make money, you try to make money around that attention. That's
Right.
how I see it. But again, these social media platforms are not all built for watching an hour-long show. So you got to create little, they call them snackable things that'll draw people into your show.
Right.
And that's where I believe there's I'm missing that piece. And I believe most people are, to be honest, because that's where the 30 bodies.
Especially if you're the creator, and then because like you said, like Gary Vee will create it, and then he can go sit down somewhere, and there's other people that's gonna do it. What needs to be done. I'm assembling that team right now. I got my dude Alex. I got Hector, Bryce, and Jesse Marie. Where I'm gonna do the interviews, and then they're gonna write the write up. They're gonna post it on YouTube. And then they're gonna pump it out there. They're gonna just pump it, and then I'm just gonna repeat the next day.
Because I
can't do everything and then get it to where it needs to go. It's not.
That's my thing. Like right now, I am doing everything, but that's fine. Like I like learning, so I'm learning the environment, and then I could teach it, right? So I'm in the part where I'm learning it all, and now I could be like, all right, this is how you do this. This is how you do that. This is the funnest part of entrepreneurship for me. So all right, we over the hour. Any final words for the audience?
No, I just want to say congratulations, much success, and a lot of things that you want to do, we don't even have to ask. Especially if it's something for the youth, we definitely gonna get it done. If it's something that we gonna make money together, we gonna get it done. Like you don't have to wonder if I'm down for it, because a lot of things I'm not gonna be down for anymore because I've done so much, and it's like, all right, it gotta add up now. Nobody can trick me into saying, oh, we should just do this for the culture. Like, nah, I've been doing it for the culture. I need to get paid now. I need my big contract now. Like. You know what I mean, just so I can become, because I'll do it for free. So somebody paid me, and I'll do it way better for some money. So that's just if you're good at something, never do it for free. That's the
and
Joker said.
You got the archive. Think about what Joe Rogan just did. He sold his archive for $100 million. Like, and he's gonna do his show.
I got archives of stuff that people said things. You know, the Nipsey Hussles, the
Cardi
J.
B, right?
Things on interviews that were genuine at the time when they first started. So they're not gonna say that again now. Like you only get that one time, and depending on how many of those interviews they did at that time, I haven't seen a lot floating around. So
the big thing with you, and this is where I think you have this content. You take that little clip and you put it out on the internet and say to watch the whole thing or listen to the whole thing. You gotta go listen to this episode on YouTube. You could get mad views, right? And then you make some money advertising, all that different thing. Yeah. So to me, I think you can have the archive to get a nice contract from a Spotify, Apple Music, because now they're gonna start fighting for content. They just set the high mark with Joe Rogan. They fought over Joe Rogan. Now everybody's it's like baseball and basketball. That the top free agent just got signed. Now everybody else is gonna.
That's what I was thinking about for myself. I'm like, I am one of those type of people that a pioneer that started something at a time, and maybe it's not the time yet, but I need to get it together and have my team ready. So when we want to position ourselves to ask for whatever we want to ask for, it makes sense. Because
this is the start, though. This is the start of. Think about it. If we were around when TV was being started. This is the start of podcasts. It's not that old. And this guy was the first one to get paid by a network. This is the start of this shit. Like, and you got years of archives with big people, Cardi B, Nipsey Hussle. All these big artists came through your studio first. So that content is valuable, man. You just got to throw it out there and let the people find it. You know, but you got to, this is what I meant about this marketing side where you need people to promote these little clips because you got video and audio of all this shit, right? Yeah. Shit, yeah.
I got stuff of people that passed away that that's crazy. Like, I got Fife Dog and my man from Violators that passed away.
Lighty, right? Chris Lighty.
I got them like the year before both of them passed away. I got them like talking on the phone with Busta Rhymes on the phone. I got that whole conversation, like.
Damn.
So like things like that. They used it on Street Soldiers though. They definitely used that clip. They used a few things that I did on Street Soldiers in the past. Chinks, when Chinks got killed, he got killed 6 months after he did an interview with us.
Wow.
So like those type of stories, that's why I'm calling my thing Where It All Began, because I can always put that out with that slogan and then show you where it all began and show them right at the beginning.
Pretty cool though. I like that name and everything. So where can people find your podcast right now?
They can search on everything where it all began, and that's DSMBX. You just type DSMBX.
Put it up on the screen. Where it all began on all platforms.
Yeah, DSMBX, and then my website is DSMBX.online.
DSNBX.
Yeah, Damatrix Studios Network Bronx.
That's the website, right?
Yep.
All right.
On Instagram is Damatrix Studio without an S, and Twitter is the same. Damatrix Matrix Studio.
All right.
And
so
I check everything. So
yeah, and also you can do stuff on Facebook and all that. So definitely check out Damien. Damien got archives, and he's still interviewing people right now. And he'll be back on the show for sure. So keep it going, man. Stay safe. I know you out there. You driving around. I know. This is crazy times, but we'll make it through. We're gonna do what we do as entrepreneurs. Good catching up, and definitely once I know more about this summer thing, I'll definitely involve you because we're gonna do this show all produced by the kids. We're gonna get them to reach out to the top people in the world. Let a top person tell a kids show they won't interview them.
I have a Bronx program, the Guns Down Life Up program that I'm a vendor on right now that I get funded for them. We can put something together right now. They have kids and they have the program and the money already. So let's just talk off scenes, we can start with them. If it's 10 kids, boom, and then we could use that as a pilot.
All right, even better. See, that's another.
I just needed help with the technology part of it. Like I don't want to be the one.
I got it. I got the system down packed. So definitely, let's.
I got you. I'll tie you in.
All right, sounds good, man. Good stuff. Good catching up, Damien. Everybody, thank you for watching. Definitely follow Damien everywhere. And looking forward to tomorrow's episode. And stay safe, everyone. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.